All right, welcome back. My name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. And in this video, we're going to be continuing our journal with interactive videos with H5P. And our goal is to try to get through how to upload images, make statements, single choice, multiple choice, and also true and false questions. So let's not waste any time and get straight into this. So here is my Moodle where I have my H5P Interactive video. In the prior video, I showed you how to get to this step, how to create the activity, and how to upload the video. So we're not going to waste time. We're going to get straight to this. So we did these first four here last time: label, text, table, and link. And we're going to start here with image. So let's say for whatever reason you want to insert a graph. So maybe your video is explaining something and you want to show a map or something to your students. Whatever your purpose is, it doesn't matter. To do that, you want to click right here on the image button. And again, at the top, let me make this bigger for you. You're always going to have to make a choice about the display time. At what point in the video do you want this to show up? At 50 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever. So you put the start time here. And when do you want it to go away? And so you put the end time here. So I'm just going to put start at 20 and then stop at 25. So when the video goes in for 20 seconds, this will pop up and then it'll last for 5 seconds. If, of course, you don't have it set to pause the video. If you pause the video, it'll pause until the student plays it again. That's kind of how it works. And remember, you have two ways to display things: as a button or as a poster. I recommend poster. Students seem to get lost when the button shows up. I can't tell you why, but that's been my experience. And so we got to have an alternate text. So we're just going to call this example. This is if there's something unique about the browser for students with special needs. And we have to add the image right here. So you click add, and I'm just going to upload my image here and click open like that. So there's my picture. Hover over text. This text is displayed when the user hovers their pointing device over the image. So if you're familiar with HTML and JavaScript and those things like that, all those kind of cool things you can do. So just type in example of an image like so. And this other stuff, visual, you probably don't need this unless you're an advanced user. So you could change the background of the text, and you can also have it be a link to something else, either another point in the video or a whole other URL page. So for example, if you want to give credit to where the image came from, you might want to put the URL. Hey, this image came from Wikipedia. Click here if you want to see the original image. Whatever, it's up to you. And so we got it on poster, and I think we're all ready. So we click done. And so if we play the video, now I know you probably cannot see this, but there's a little tiny dot right where this is going to happen at. So we're just going to play from right here. Let me turn the sound off. We don't need that for right now. And then here it comes. Another 5. Here we go. Getting closer. And there it is. And you can see our picture. And again, if we wanted to, we can make it bigger if you really desired to. And they can see it right there. And so this can be a learning tool that you might want to use. So I'm going to delete this now because I no longer need it. And we're going to move to our next example here. So the next one that we're going to look at here is statements. Statements is when you say something. It's not that deep. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. And we're going to have this one. Our start time is going to be at 10 seconds. Stop at 20 seconds so we don't waste so much time. I want to make a poster again. And you got to give it a name. And again, it tells you right here what the purpose of the name is: for searching, report, and copyright information. So if you're looking through several H5P videos and you want to find something, this might come in handy for that. And so then it says here, choose the correct statement. Now, this is where it gets tricky. And I want to go back for a second. This is the summary. I think I called it statement by accident. It's called statement here, but when you click on it, it's called summary. Now, this summary function is the same thing as the summary function in step 3. So this can be very confusing for students. So I really wouldn't recommend using this particular choice that you have here, but I'm just going to walk you through how to set it up. So it allows you to kind of give an overall statement type question where the student kind of summarizes what happened in the video. And so they have to pick the correct statement. This is the correct statement. This is the wrong statement. Okay, so this is tricky, and you can continue to add statements, and you can even put in tips to kind of give them an idea of what the right answer is. in case they're really struggling with that. So it's another way to help them. And you can, of course, add even more statements. And there even is, again, if you have several statements, if you will, you can even provide feedback. So if they get a certain range right, let's say they get between 80 and 100%, you could put a statement here. If they get between 70 and 79%, you could put a different statement here. You know, there's ways to provide feedback if you really so desire. But we're not going to set that in this particular video in an example. And of course, for adaptivity, if they get all the answers right, they can get a certain message. If they get something wrong, you know, it'll tell them what part of the video to go back to. You can really customize this in a way that is highly extensive. That's the main point I want you to see there. And so here's what the actual question looks like. Again, I always like to make my poster as big as possible. And so if we were to actually play the video and we were students, it would stop here at 10 seconds. And we'd have to pick, well, which one is the right answer? And we just have to pick and see what happens. Again, we can play these later and you can see the feedback from the students. I'm going to keep this one because I'm going to use this later. Now, after statements, our next one is going to be single choice. We're almost done here. And so for our single choice one, we're going to have this one start at 25 and we're going to have it end at 30. That's fine. And we're going to set it at we want the video to stop when it comes. Otherwise, it'll just kind of keep going and the student has to rush to try to answer the question. It's really awkward. I always like my poster. And so I think we're all familiar with multiple choice. You ask a question. Oops, I'm shouting now. And then you got to have two answers, at least two answers. Otherwise, it's no longer multiple choice. And you can add more answers by clicking here. And then you can even add a second question. So you put the second question here and you can even move the order. So you can move this one up or move it down. You can move this one up, move it down. And the secret is that the first answer you put is always the correct one. That's how that works. So please keep that in mind as well. And again, we saw this with the statement one, where you can get specific feedback for a specific range of correct answers. So if they get 90 and above, you might want to say excellent. If they get 80 to 89, you might want to say good, whatever you want. And of course, we still have the behavioral settings here, where again, you can see how this just gets really complicated. So you can have it play a sound when they get the right answer. You can allow the retry button so they can try again if they get it wrong. You know, you can have a timeout on incorrect answers or correct answers, timeout on wrong answers. All these things have to be set. And you have to show, okay, should we show the solution button in case they don't get it? You can remove that. It's really complicated what you can do. And so the secret to having success with these kind of tools is to know what do you want to do before you get in here. Otherwise, all these choices will overwhelm you. So I'm going to go ahead and click that I'm done with this. And let's see here. If I keep playing the video, it should show up here next. All right. Okay, here it is. Right where I want it. I don't want that bookmark. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this nice and big. And so you can see right here, here is a question, and then you have two choices, right or wrong, and then they have to pick. Now notice that there's an overlap between them. That's because I didn't space them out properly. I can fix that real quick. So I'm going to have this guy start at 35 and have him shut down at 38. Just 3 seconds because I'm going to have a pause. Now you can see here that it's kind of giving me an error message because this text must require value, but I don't even want a second question, so I'm going to remove it. So now I don't have that error message anymore. All right. And so again, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little tiny empty circle here where my two questions are at. And so these are little hints for where you might want to look if you're trying to go back and fix something. If it's not really like a question, it'll be like a little dot, not a circle. So we did single choice. Excuse me. Now we're moving to multiple choice. Or did we do multiple choice already? Okay, yeah, that last one was single choice. So now we're doing multiple choice. All right, so with multiple choice, you only have one question. So I kind of misspoke. I thought I was talking about multiple choice, but it's actually single choice where there's one answer. So they're basically the same thing. It appears how here, if you look at multiple choice, you only can have the one question and then that's it. So they're kind of the same thing. I don't think I need to actually go through the details of how to do this. Just make sure you pick your begin and end point. I recommend pausing the video and setting the display to poster. And then the label, this is just for you to know the label display next to interaction icon. So it kind of gives a hint about what type of activity it is. If your students need to know that. Of course, if you want, you can give the multiple choice some kind of a name. If you really desire that, then you put your question here, and then you have your various texts. All right, everyone has an answer here. So this is almost like single choice. I'm not quite sure why they separated them, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and just put this at 40, and maybe stop it at 42, like so. I want poster, untitled multiple choice. What is the answer? And I'm going to put for this one. All right. And then you want to scramble it. That's the correct one. Not this one. All right. And so one thing that's unique about multiple choice compared to single choice is the ability to provide tips and feedback. So so the student can click on the tip and get an idea of what the answer is. If message display, if the answer is selected, okay, if something happens here, you can give some sort of feedback here. If this answer is selected right here, what kind of feedback? If this answer is not selected, what kind of feedback would you give them right here? So again, you can really customize it. And then behavioral settings and adaptivity are probably the same as last time. You can see here. So the retry button, show solution, question type, automatic. It could be radio boxes or single choice boxes. Again, that's why it's very similar to single choice. Show confirmation dialog on checks. Or are you sure you want me to check? Are you sure you want to retry? That sort of thing. Automatically check the answers. What's the pass percent? All these things. Lots of things you don't need to know all the time. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. Here it is. No, that's not it. Oh, it's right here. I thought I put this to poster. Let me fix that. There we go. Now it'll work. All right, so this is multiple choice. And so you can see right here, here's our answer. What is the answer? Not this one, this one. And then you can check when you actually take the quiz. So having said that, we did single choice, multiple choice. This is our last one for today, true and false. So true and false, I mean, not a whole lot to say here either. We just want to make sure that we started in the right spot. And basically, there's only two choices. Again, we're going to put it on poster, pause the video automatically. What is the answer? And true or false, that's it. Not that deep. This is very simple. Go ahead and click that. And then we're going to just move to that spot in the video so we can see it. All right. It's going to pause here in a second. There we go. Whoops. Okay, good. And so now they have to check which one they think is right. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this. And this is something I did not do in the previous video that I should have. I'm going to actually go through the video as a student. So proceed to save. And then we're going to save and display. All right. So now it's loading up. Okay. And so we're going to take a quick look at this. I still don't want the sound on. And we're going to watch this and see. We're going to go right to the spot where the videos or the questions begin at. Here comes the first one any second now. All right. So I have to figure out this is the wrong statement. Oh, man. Oh, I got it wrong. Man, that's too bad. And so you can see they get immediate feedback because that's how I set up my options. Let's move to the next one now. Getting closer here. Whoa. Here goes the next one coming up soon. All right. Here is a question, right or wrong. Pick wrong. All right. Oh, I got it wrong. So you can see it even played a little sound that time. And so then I have the option to retry or show solution. Again, this is multiple choice this time. And oh, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, I don't know. Let me just keep going. All right. So we're getting close to the next one here. Okay. Here's our next question. Not this one. This one. How about not this one? Oh, got it wrong. And then you can see I can see the solution if I want. And I can retry if I want. Okay. check. All right, good. See, I get it right. See all these fun things. All right, and let's just go to the last one, shall we? We're getting close here. Okay, here we go. So statement, what is the answer? True. All right, got it right. So this is what your students would see if they were to actually take this particular interactive video. Now, I recommend interactive videos. It's not so much about the points, really, in my opinion. You really put the questions in there to keep the student awake and to provide evidence that they completed watching the video. That's your real point. Because, you know, if you're setting these things up online, it's very easy to cheat and for them to talk to each other and get the answers. So you're not really worried about the answers. You put in these interactions here to get the student engaged and actually watching and paying attention as they watch the video. That's really the point. So that's the main thing that I wanted to share with you in this particular video, in that we were looking at how to set up these 5 items here. And, you know, multiple choice, summary, statement, true and false. And also we looked at the image. I deleted the image before we did the demo, but if you put the image in there, it'll just pop up and it's not that big of a deal. So I hope that this kind of gives you an idea of how to deal with HP5 and their interactive video activity. My name is Darren Thomas. I am the Director of Educational Research Techniques. Take care.